My name is Sarvottam Bajwa, and I'm a student of graduate diploma in early childhood teaching at Southern Cross Education Institute. And today, in this presentation, we're going to talk about children's rights. As you can see in the first slide, it says that according to UNICEF, around 10% of the children around the globe are not protected legally from corporal punishments. Evidence shows that 1 in 3 children belong from the age bracket of 13 to 15 experience bullying. Some of the common types of violence that are experienced by children includes abuse and neglect in families, sexual abuse, bullying, psychological aggression, etc. In the third slide, we're going to talk about the rights of children to be protected against violence and abuse. According to Article 19, described in the Child Right Convention of the United Nations, it is the duty of the state parties to take all appropriate legislative alongside with administrative, social, and educational measures for protecting children from all forms of physical and mental violence. It also involves the duty of state parties in context to take measures for protecting children against abuse and or injury, neglect or negligent treatment or exploitation involved in sexual abuse while in care of the parent or legal guardian or any person who has the care of the child. On the other hand, it is also mentioned that the protection measures should be appropriate and involve effective procedures that will help in establishing social programs for providing necessary support to the child and those who have the care of the child. In slide 5, we're going to talk about the importance of rights according to the World Health Organization. 3 out of 4 children, or 300 million, from the age group of 2 to 4 experience violence on a regular basis. This violence involves physical punishment or psychological violence at the hands of the parents or caretakers. Evidence shows proves that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 13 men have sexually abused as a child during the age group of 10 to 17 years. It has also been identified that 120 million girls and young women below the age of 20 have suffered from some form of sexual abuse. This affects the capacity of fostering and growing up in their lives, which in return affect the future of the upcoming generation and the world itself. It is always the children that shape up the future of the world. However, weaker and vulnerable children, scared with abuse and violence, will not be able to take that duty. Furthermore, it is morally incorrect to let children who are themselves singular individuals suffer through violence and abuse-related events. In slide 7, we're going to talk about the conditions in the current situation and why is it important to advocate for rights. In 2019, the state agencies recognized that approximately 1,840 children died due to abuse and negligence, which includes 5 children in a day. Despite majority of the incidences of child abuse remain unreported, it has been reported by Australian authorities that 49,690 children have been abused in 2021 itself. As a result, it can be said the situation faced by children in their growing years are volatile and have the capacity to affect them both them psychologically and physically. These effects have identified to impact them long into their elderly years as well and even turn them towards abusing others as well. Therefore, it can be stated that it is necessary to look into these conditions now and provide basic protection and support to children so that they can be protected against these abuse and violence and the negative effects. In order to do so, children can be educated about maltreatment and good treatment alongside with taking proper actions in learning environments to identify child abuse. In slide 9, we're going to talk about ensuring the rights in school. In order to ensure the child protection rights are properly maintained in school, it would be the first requirement to eliminate any kinds of practices that promote discrimination. It would be required to promote equality and inclusion in the learning environment and classroom, and this can be done by including cooperative and inclusive factors in lesson plans. For instance, by including chances of learning about Aboriginal and Torres Strait people in Islander people along with their contribution in Australian history and present. On the other hand, by having proper practices in place that will support a child and provide them the opportunity of reporting any kinds of abuse they face, either in school or at their home. In this slide, we're going to talk about how to promote the right in families and within children. In order to ensure that the rights of protecting children against abuse and violence is carried out properly in families, as educators, teachers can communicate with the parent and educate them about identification of signs of abuse and violence. It is often evident for children to not communicate any kinds of violence and abuse that they face. Therefore, by educating parents about the percentage of child abuse that occur on a daily basis and how to identify if their child or any other child is facing these events. The protection of children against violence and abuse can be protected to some extent. In the context of educating children, educators can focus on educating them about negative effects of reviews and making them known that they will be safe even if they report any kinds of abuse. The children can also be taught about good touch and bad touch to help them understand what is abuse and what is not. The tutors can also focus on teaching the children the steps taken if they feel they have been abused or violence have been conducted against them. Teachers should always focus on enhancing the confidence of the students while letting them know that no harm will be done to them if they report any abuse or violence, and every action to protect them against such instances will be taken. In conclusion, it can be summarized that if proper steps are not taken to protect children against violence and abuse, the future of countries and the globe as a whole is likely to be doomed. However, to ensure the child abuse is reported can be challenging. As a result, by developing an inclusive learning environment and educating the teachers and the child or caregivers about child abuse and making a space for them to report or talk about these violences or abuses, the rates of child protection against violence and abuse enhance of the United Nations Convention can be maintained to some extent. With these final words, I say thank you for listening to this important topic, and this is your narrator, Sarvotam Bajwa, signing off. Thank you and have a lovely day.